Welcome back to Tech Bits. This is episode 3, and this episode in our using Zoom series is actually inspired by a question that was asked recently by a participant, and that the question really revolved around using Google or Facebook logins as authentication into Zoom versus just creating a new account. So I'm going to walk you through that, show you how to do that. I'm going to use a Windows 10 desktop, but it's going to work pretty much the same on any other device. All right, so here we are. This is a Windows 10 desktop with the Zoom client installed. This should look familiar by this point. You actually have two options. You have join a meeting, where you could, as a participant, just join without doing anything else. But the other option is sign in. And if you remember in episode 1, I showed you how to create a Zoom account, which is going to be needed later on when we do hosting. So if you happen to do that, you could actually sign in here. As a participant, it's not really anything that's required to be able to do. However, the question came in, well, what if I have a Google account or even a Facebook account? How does that work? And so there are certain applications, ways that applications can be linked so that they can share username and password. So now you can have one username and password to access multiple applications rather than having one per every application. So that's a good thing to have, to be able to simplify a little bit. If I wanted to use my Facebook credentials to log into Zoom, I could click into this option here. And it's going to open up a web browser, and eventually, there we go. I get this screen, and you may be familiar with this type of a pop-up when you're doing Facebook. If you've used Facebook to authorize applications or games or anything like that, you're used to getting this pop-up where it's asking your permission to allow Facebook to provide identification to this application. And that's really what this is asking. If I wanted to use my Facebook credentials, I could click on continue as John and move on. But that's not really what I wanted to do. I wanted to come back to Google. And so I'm going to click on Google, and I have a Google account. And it's picked up the fact that I have a Google account. It's this john.howard@wifininja.biz. And so it's going to walk me through authorizing this. This dialog differs a little bit. It may actually prompt you for this information. For me, it's pulling this off of my computer because it knows it has that identity built in. But anyway, so I'm going to, or if you didn't want to use this account, use a different account, you could use another account, and it would direct you through that. So I'm just going to pick this one because that's the account I want to use. So I'm going to click on this, and it all of a sudden it just connected it, it authorized it, and everything like that. Sometimes you may get a series of questions or dialogues, like it'll sometimes ask you to verify your birthday. It might ask for other information. The important thing is what you're wanting to do is you're validating to Google that you are authorizing Google to allow Zoom to use Google user ID and password. So now every time I log in, anytime I want to log in on this device, you can see this is my identity, this is my login, and I have these different options. I can sign out, I can switch accounts. This is important just in general. I could always check for updates to see if I have any updates. And oh my, there is an update available. I'm not going to take your time to go through this. We'll cancel that. But that's how you can log in with an existing credential like a Google or a Facebook option as well. Not something you have to do, but if you have a number of identities already popping around, it simplifies things a little bit. Thanks, and hope to see you in episode 5, where we're going to talk about participant options when you're in a meeting. Take care. Thanks. Bye.